This channel is supported by my online fishing courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, as well as my books, including my latest book, Fishing the Edge, Techniques and Tales from Surf, Boat, and Kayak. You can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon. All right, good morning. It's almost a desperation trip. It's a weekend, and I don't usually want to go out on a crowded weekend. The weather's terrible. You know, there's not a lot of days to get out, and if I don't get out today, I don't know when I'm going to get out. So, getting out here early, I'm going to grind it out. I don't even have good reports. Eastern Long Island, South Shore Bay. I did well here recently, but I haven't heard good stuff since then, so we'll see. Oh my God, this trip is it's just proof that you never know when you're going to have a trip that you're never going to forget. I mean, this is one of them. This, yeah, I mean, this is record setting for me in terms of number of keepers. I don't mean just from a kayak. I mean, you know, in any setting. So, all right, this is first drift. Let's get to it. I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. All right, much to my surprise, a keeper first fish just 5 minutes into the trip. And yeah, I'm happy about that because when I said I came out early on the tide, not early in the day. Oh my goodness, it's going to be just a show of boat waves and boats and noise and everything. But all right, first fish here. All right, another 30 minutes in that spot, and then I moved. Look at that water quality, not great. Honestly, I blame all the waves and boat traffic. It's only 8 to 10 feet of water here. Okay, New York state limit is 19 inches. That one's definitely not going to make it. You can keep 3 fish. I want to direct your attention to the upper right-hand corner of the screen when I look back up here. I want to explain the setting. You see that boat? He's rounding a buoy there. So that is like the main highway. In fact, that's a law enforcement boat. I believe that's county police. That is like the main route everybody's going to take. To my left, I have a bar. I'm trying to stay close to that bar edge. I'm trying to give myself some distance between the main channel and where I am, and you're going to see why. I know this looks beautiful here, doesn't it? It's going to get, I don't want to say dangerously rough if you're in the wrong kayak and you're not careful about it, but it's going to get dicey. But yeah, it's my strategy. I'm just trying to stay off that main channel and catch some fish. Actually, I said everybody goes to the outside of the buoy. The problem is not everybody goes to the outside. Some of them will come in closer. Putting them closer to me, and yeah, gets a little tough at points. Oh shit. All right, that boat cut on the inside. I need to react to that because that's going to stack the waves here. So just going to turn the bow in. Hey, as long as I've got my bow into it or my stern, I'm fine. I just don't want to take this broadside. Yeah, that could be a problem. I wouldn't flip in this. This isn't not so bad. You'll see worse waves than this. But that's the strategy there. I just got to keep an eye on, you know, what's coming from the channel side. Now that fish was somewhat lucky because I was look, I need to stop the drift and go back up, make another drift. Well, why not leave my line until the last possible second while the kayak is turning? I mean, you're talking about maybe I'm leaving it in the water for an extra 5 seconds. Well, that's what I did, and it turns out that's when he grabbed it. So it also tells me, well, maybe I need to drift or troll back a little bit farther. The problem is I don't want to do that because that's where you end up a little closer to the channel where the waves stack up, so I don't like going back there too far. But all right, I'll take them. All right, I am keeping fish, and yeah, so I'm going to measure them against my paddle. I've got a measurer on there, and then at some point off camera I'm going to measure it out on my rod so I can just use my rod. But again, I'm going to have to deal with waves. So yeah, I'm keeping here. I've got a cooler bag in the back, and I've got the first fish is already in there. But yeah, I'm going to deal with, I guess at this point I'm debating whether I need to deal with these waves, but I'm back far enough. They're spread out. But yeah, this is a nice fish. I don't know why I'm measuring it. It's definitely good. So I always bleed my fish out, and it's not really convenient to have a bucket. But yep, slip them in there, hit them in the gills, let them bleed out in the cooler bag. Makes for a messy cleanup of the cooler bag, but you know, in the end, the fillets end up white and clean, and everything's good. Okay, I've got to deal with waves before getting back up to the top of the drift. Now, a couple of things. This is an Old Town Sportsman autopilot. This is a very, very stable kayak. You don't do this in just any kayak. Also, if I'm broadside in that mess, yeah, I think this could go over. So, yeah, like I said, the right kayak and paying close attention and doing the right thing. So, by the way, this rod is the bay version of the very popular Dark Matter Skinner Jig and Bounce Fluke rod, which is also a great bass rod. But yeah, this is the version that's made for this kind of fishing. All right, just want to get in a little safer position there to deal with this fish. So you see that big orange flag? That's actually, I use a bed extender when I transport my kayak, and that's what I tie to the bow. And a few trips ago, I forgot my kayak safety flag, which is actually lower and smaller than that. And you know what? I'm going to use that from now on. It's very easily visible, and I know that because at times you're going to see this beautiful sports fisherman 38-footer in the background. It's a light blue color, and those are friends of mine. And he told me it's very he finds it very difficult to see kayaks, but he said this with that flag up there, he sees that extremely well. So yeah, just a little hint there about visibility. Big flag, a little higher, works well. Okay, see, I just hit spot lock there. I'm far enough away from the traffic that will just hold me in my position. I can continue my drift after I let this fish go. And by the way, the bag limit's 3. I'm only going to keep 2 because basically that's good enough meal for my wife and I with leftovers. I don't need 3, so I'm just keeping 2. Everything else is going to go back. And I keep referring to drifts. Technically, I'm trolling because I've got that motor's going all the time. When I'm fishing, when I'm going down drift, I'm running that motor at about 5 to 10%, and basically just to keep it on track where I want it, to get the drift speed I want, I'm using a 3/4 ounce bucktail. Turns out this particular day, 5 to 10% motor speed, I'm doing about 1 mile an hour on a 3/4 ounce bucktail. It's perfect. 8 to 10 feet of water. It's just ideal. So I'm looking around a lot on this trip. I'm trying to make sure, I don't have any waves coming. I'm evaluating the boats that are going by. Look, it's funny. If you could have a 30-foot center console doing 40 miles an hour, that boat's no problem at all. When they're going fast like that, they're not throwing much for wave. But you get something like a big heavy Sea Ray that's plowing along at 15 miles an hour, displacing a lot of water. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. And one of the hardest parts that I find about kayak fishing in a situation like this is you can't see behind you, and it's really not easy to turn around and see all the way behind. So, yeah. But okay, you might notice a change in the lighting here. I went about that was my 5th keeper, and I went about 90 minutes without a keeper, and then oh my God, it's going to turn on. All right, I'm just dropping to the bottom, start of the next drift. So the most productive tides, and I'm talking about any fishery, are usually very spot dependent. But if I had to generalize, I like to be fishing the 90 minutes either side of either slack. And this is one of those examples. This is basically coming up on high slack the last 90 minutes, and that's when this turned on like this. I can't see behind me, but I can hear behind me, and I took note of what style of boat that was. It just passed. I know I'm going to get whacked here. That's why I'm not going for the net. Just want to get this thing in the boat. I know I've got something to deal with here. However, I know my stern's into it. beauty. There's that triple limit there. Holy crap. This trip is convincing me of one thing. These fish, these fluke, do not care about the boat noise at all. Like I said, this is 8 to 10 feet of water. It is just so noisy. Doesn't seem to matter. All right, that was borderline. Oh, we'll call that a short. But speaking of shorts, what's interesting is on this binge of keepers, that might be the only short. Before that, it was about 2 shorts to every keeper. Maybe 3 shorts to every keeper. So every once in a while somebody will slow down because I'm in a kayak, and I always feel bad about that. You don't really need to do that. I appreciate that, you know, they're thinking of other people, but my attitude is I'm on their turf. I'm on the boating turf here. As a beauty, I need to be able to handle what comes at me, and you know, I shouldn't be out there if I can't. And yeah, in the end, if you're going fast, you know, typically throw a smaller wake. If you slow down, then you drop the stern in and you displace more water. What's tough is when people get really close. You know, if you've got a little bit of distance between the boat generating the waves and you, then you've got time to react and time for the waves to spread out. But that's the hard part, is when people go real close to you. So those swings are almost certainly not hits. There is very little difference between when the bucktail kind of gets hung on a little piece of a sand wave and when a fluke grabs it. So I swing. I have a saying, hook sets are free. think that's maybe 4 limits. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no way he's short. Oh, there's the style of boat I fear. You know, I don't know if that's a Sea Ray, but it's that kind of a boat, especially going at that speed. Yeah, I'm going to have to deal with that for sure. Yeah, it's a great kayak. This has got an autopilot feature on there. So once I establish my heading here, and of course look around, make sure everything's okay, I can just put it on autopilot while I deal with this fish. So it's a very, very handy thing to do to be able to get some stuff done without having to think about the steering. Again, making sure there's nothing around you. I don't know where these fish were all this time. Look at this. Holy crap. This is some bite, huh? Boy, what a great binge of fish here. Some of these are really nice bay fish. This is a lot of fun. Now this would tie our record for number of keepers in a day. 14. Yeah, completely unexpected. That is my record. Actually, it ties my record for number of keepers in a day, 14. But I'm pretty sure the previous 14 was on an 18.5-inch limit. I know for sure it was at Montauk. So to do it this way, yeah, this was really cool. So, all right, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Check out my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner. And don't forget my books. And you can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon.